how to grow your Instagram in 2026, and I'm excited to do this workshop and teach you exactly what you should do in 2026 and how you can succeed on Instagram to get more leads, to get more sales, to build a strong personal brand, and also to get a great results for your business if you are looking to invest your time into this platform. Me myself, I've been running a marketing agency specifically focusing on Instagram growth. I've been growing over tens of thousands of different Instagram accounts over the last 10 years, and I will break down exactly the strategy, which account you should have on Instagram, which accounts are actually converting into sales, and how you should build your growth strategy and as well as the content strategy for 2026. If you guys have not seen me before, I run a marketing agency which is specifically focused on Instagram growth and content creation. I've been doing this for the last 10 years. I've been published in the best-selling book Instagram Power as one of the experts, and also I've been speaking in multiple podcasts. I currently run an agency. I have also both on Fiverr and off Fiverr. I run the Vnog Media agency. You can see here, this is my agency website, and also of course the Fiverr profile, where right now on one of my gigs I have over 113 orders in queue. In total, I have around 300 to 400 clients on a monthly basis that I work with. So there is a lot of knowledge, there is a lot of information that I'm excited to share with you. And of course, this will be an amazing year, 2026, for you to start to be serious with Instagram. And also, if you are thinking maybe that, Instagram is not the platform I want to be in 2026, I will give you some examples which will surprise you, and you might reconsider your decision and go all in on Instagram. So the first thing here, I'm gonna go overall everything, pretty much everything, starting from the profile, going into all the strategies, promotion strategies, what works, what doesn't work, what you should focus on. This is I prepared this presentation as well with all the latest updates, all the latest strategies, so you will stay up to date with the information. The first thing when you are going on Instagram. So if I go back to my Instagram as well, I have an Instagram account which represents my personal brand. As you can see here, this Instagram account brings me a lot of sales. You might see that I'm not posting as active on my Instagram, but in reality, this works a little bit different. Every day I'm engaging with people, sending them messages, following up. We have the whole sales system inside of my DMs, which helps me convert clients from leads to become a paying client. And of course, this is one of the key strategies. Right now, Instagram is changed, and you can do a lot of different strategies and you can do a lot of different things. But the main point is that when people come to Instagram, they will spend a few seconds before they make a decision to follow you, to continue scrolling, to continue exploring. And you should treat your Instagram not just like I need to be posting on a daily basis every time, but Instagram is your portfolio, it's your website, it's your reputation. So you can go with a strategy where you don't need to be posting a lot of content, but when you post, it represents your personality, it represents your, let's say maybe some lifestyle, it represents your professional career. Can be conferences, can be maybe you're a guest on a podcast, maybe you have traveled to some sort of a forum, a business forum, maybe you have been meeting with clients. So it can represent everything that is around your professional network. Of course, you can have your hobbies, you can have your travels as well, you can have your family if you want to show. So there is a lot of different things. This is a very key, because when someone goes to Instagram, if they see, for example, you are just, let's say, for example, I'm going to give you here, before we go into this workshop, I'm going to give you here an example. So people can go to your Instagram and they might see, for example, something like this. And for example, Jamie has been incredible example as well as how he can grow fast, right? But again, that's why I wanted to record this video, because when you look at someone like Jamie, who has 200,000, 250,000 followers, and he's been constantly posting, he's been constantly sharing, and you can see his content, right? It's great, it's amazing. But when for example, for most people, it's very hard to get to this level. Most people cannot get to this level. It's only a few percentage. But what you can do, because of course, you know, you have to be staying extremely consistent. And even, for example, you can see his posts, right? They don't get, like, he's posting even more, right? He's trying to really post as much as possible just to maximize, right? But it's also not for everyone. People cannot just post every single day. So that's why when you go to his Instagram, for example, you don't really understand, he's just having these videos, you don't really understand his sort of, you know, the whole picture of his personal brand. You don't see it from his Instagram. It takes time, you have to scroll, you have to go to his website, right? And the idea here is to show this whole picture just by looking at your Instagram for the first few seconds, right? So that's why I want to first of all start with understanding your goals. If you are trying to grow your Instagram for the purpose of being, let's say, a creator, influencer, someone who can reach to the maximum amount of people, right, and build that sort of influencer profile, or if you are trying to build your business or a personal brand, if you are entrepreneur, that's a completely different direction, right? So for influencer, you need to have, let's say, the most amount of views. You need to have, you know, you can share your lifestyle, you can share your interest, you can, you know, work with other businesses, you can promote their products, right? Like, this is kind of like one direction. The second direction, you are building your profile as a business, as an entrepreneur, right? Of course, if you are asking me, for example, personally, because we're working with hundreds of accounts on a monthly basis, I will suggest to build your Instagram as a personal brand, as an entrepreneur, because it's going to be much easier to get clients for your business. So you can have your personal brand profile, which represents you, profession, everything relates to a business, and then you can have your business Instagram profile. You can tag, you can put it in the bio, and that can be your business, and you can grow your business. And with the business, it's a bit easier because if you have a team, you can create a good system for you to be sharing this content consistently, right? But it's basically creates the content for your client needs, shares the solutions, drive sales, drive conversions, and impact, right? Big impact with the right people. So with any Instagram profiles, right? So as I mentioned before, you have 3 seconds. People have 3 seconds just to spend on your profile. So of course, if they are going to your Instagram, let's say they're going to Jamie's profile, they, of course, the biggest factor he has is the amount of followers. He has 256,000 followers. As soon as someone sees that, this person will be like, wow, okay, I need to spend some time on this profile. If they come to your profile and they see that you have less than 1,000 followers, you have few thousand followers, and you have a lot of these types of content, they will not really spend a lot of time. They're just gonna go to the next profile, right? So in order for them to spend, you need to understand these key points. You have the username, you have the name, you have the bio, you have the links, you have the profile picture, you have the highlights, visuals, contact option, and business page category. These things might sound simple, but they are very important. So let's start with the username first. Very important to understand this. You want to have one sort of identification of yourself. For example, for me, when you go to my Fiverr profile, you can see here my username, so it's Vasily17, right? So that's how I chose it actually a very long time ago. You can see it here, right? So this is my username. If you go to my Instagram profile, you're gonna also see my Instagram with the same username, right? So this allows me to, some clients might be looking me online and they will find me much easier, right? It creates one identification of myself. So ideally you want to have your first name, last name together if you can, if not something different, but it has to be clear. It has to be something that is just easily recognizable. Like if it's a business, you can share your business name, you can share location as well, you can share your niche, right? So it has to be relevant to what you are doing. Now we have the name, right? So the name you have to remember. So for example, in my case, I'm using my first and last name, right? But the actual name, it's also SEO friendly, right? So if I go, for example, here, Or we can actually go to the Jamie's here. You can see Jamie has business of freelance, right? So if I search for, let's say if I go here in the search and I type freelance, and let's go to not personalized, you can see these are the names, right? So they are putting the freelancer in their name, and that's how people can find them because of that. So let's say if I go to the freelance here, if I type freelance, I can see keywords, and then it will exactly give me the same sort of course it's more personalized, but it will still give me these profiles because they have the name. So it's an SEO friendly, and you should always remember that. Next one is the location. Location is also relevant. If it's related to your business, if you are located in certain city, you should put your as well location, city name, for example. Like this is something that is important, because if someone is searching for, let's say, Paris or Berlin or New York, LA or Los Angeles, right? They will be able to find your profile most likely. And as well, it gives you a great local search inside of Instagram. And of course, you want to keep it clean. You want to make sure you don't waste these character numbers that you can have on your name. So you want to avoid emojis, any slogans. So just keep it clean, keep it to your brand, and keep it as well relevant to the SEO, so you can get more SEO. Next thing, we have the bio. So this is very important, because the bio is essentially everything. Everything that means people are going to be spending time, they will be reading your bio and understanding what you do and who you are. So you should remember that you have to keep it short, but make it very clear, right? So you can use the line breaks, minimal emojis, simple formatting, easy to read. So you can see in my case, I only using 4 lines. 4 lines of bio. I'm describing what I do. So I'm running a marketing agency and also a freelancehustle.ai. It's an AI platform for Fiverr sellers. Also my facts, 15,000 customers in total. And I mentioned Fiverr because I have my profile on Fiverr. Rang the opening bell. So this was my biggest highlight when Fiverr invited me publicly to the New York Stock Exchange, when I was there actually while they were in that IPO. So this is also very big credibility for me, and that worth mentioning in the bio, because sometimes clients will, let's say potential clients, they will follow me or they will send me a DM because they've seen, wow, you have been at the IPO, which is of course not extremely usual, but this is something that is very big. And then the next thing we have is the call to action, right? So you need to make sure you add a clear call to action, because when you just have your bio and then link, people might not click on your actual bio link. But when you have a call to action, it will encourage them to click on the link. It will encourage them to actually go and click there. So this is very important. Highlight credibility, as I mentioned. I see some of mistakes people still do. They are putting the hashtags in the bio. Try please not to put any hashtags, because when you're putting the hashtags, it's not going to give you anything, and it takes the space as well. And also some clients are putting the URLs as well in their bio. The URLs are not clickable. You can put a phone number, for example. It's a little bit different because of the phone number. You can still kind of type the number, but still it's not ideal. You should use a contact option for that if you want to put your number, your email, but don't put the URLs, because they are not, they're not clickable, so you're not going to get those conversions there. Okay, so we have the business page and the category. This is also something that is important, because it creates, also trust, professionalism. So you look more established. You can put the category. Business accounts, they can also run ads, promote their profile, promote their things. You can also have the contact option. So if I go here, I'll just show you this on Instagram from my phone, so it can be easier. If you go to your Instagram, right, so you can click on edit profile, and then essentially you have those options. So you have the contact options, so you can add the email, you can add the phone number, you can add the WhatsApp as well, which is a great option because you can get a lot of potential leads. They can easily send you a WhatsApp message, and that way you can convert them to clients, right? You also have the category, so you can display it on profile or not displayed, but this is also an important part as well. It's up to you how you want to have it. And also you have the action buttons. Right now you can see the order food, but if again, it's more relevant if you have an actual business, and that way you can leverage those additional tools where people can just click on a few things and they will essentially, let's say, order. If you're doing some sort of, if you have a restaurant, that's going to be relevant for you, and you can take a leverage of that. Now, let's talk about the links. So Instagram allows you to have multiple links. This is very great, but you have to always remember, the more options you give to your clients, the less conversions you're gonna get. So if I go to my Instagram right now and I click on my link, I have a few links, right? So right now I have 3 links. The first one is grow your Instagram. So of course, if you guys want me to grow your Instagram, you should check out the service I have, because this is, I think, a really great opportunity, because you don't need to focus on content, on posting every day. Like, we will grow your profile by performing organic interaction. So we'll be interacting with other people, following them, liking their content. This will be done organically, and you will get more real people. And then that allows you to continue posting at your comfortable pace, and you'll be getting new people. So you'll be kind of like building, we have this a great system, a great way of doing it, and you can continue to share your content, which can convert to more potential sales as well. So if you want to check it out, you can go to my Instagram here and click on the first link. But then you see also I have another business, which is freelancehustle.ai. So this allows me to actually also promote my other platform. People can click and go there. So again, it's very clear. There is no bunch of different links. And the third one is my YouTube channel. So YouTube is a really powerful, and you guys are watching this video, but it's also a great powerful way. It's like a funnel. It's like a funnel where people will go to your YouTube, they're going to consume content on YouTube, and essentially they will be ready to buy from you, right? So you might see sometimes people are just posting their YouTube. For example, one of the big also YouTubers, he has his Instagram account here, and you can see, for example, just also didn't follow him before. So you can see he has just his YouTube channel, just his YouTube, right? So that means, he is, for example, he is converting people from his posts, because he's using the platform like ManyChat, right? So he's converting most people through the DMs. But if someone comes to his Instagram for the first time and he's like, okay, this guy is sharing all these different tools, different tips, but I'm still not convinced, and then you will go to his YouTube channel, and then you will see what he's actually doing. You can see his channel. You'll be like, wow, this is actually great. He has a lot of tutorials, and this will make me want to, for example, buy something from him. So this is something to remember as well. It's good to also remember that you can create this like a name for the links, right? So you can, if you have like a free 15-minute discovery call that you usually do, it's important to name it. Don't leave your links without names. You can see here I have grow your Instagram, grow your Fiverr, Upwork, my agency journey. So you can also create those names. Let's say book free 15-minute call. You can do like my services, or like something like that, about me, right? So these are the things that are very, very important. Also, you can track the performance. You can track, you can use different trackers as well that track the links. You can track the link clicks. You can track how many, clicks you're getting as well. So this is something that you can also use. You have platforms like Linktree, like you've seen this before, which helps you track the links as well. Or you can just simply use link shorteners, like Bitly, and you can also track the clicks as well that is coming. Next one, we have the contact options, right? So we can include, as I was showing you, the email, the WhatsApp, the phone number. This is a great way. And also, if you have, of course, a physical business or a physical location, you can also include the address. This just makes things easier, because if someone wants to, let's say if you have your brunch place, and you have your Instagram for that brunch place, or like a local restaurant or a fitness center, it will be much easier if you include the address, because most of the time people need to know the address, and instead of going to the website, going to your highlights, stories and posts and finding that, they can just click on that address and they can go to your address, which is the most simplified thing to have. Now let's talk about the profile picture. So the profile picture is very important. It's very basic. You probably have heard about it before, but it does work a lot on the conversion, because when you have your profile picture and actually something that is, you should have your face, of course, very clear, because your profile picture is showing in many places. Like when you go, for example, to even your notifications, what you see here, you will see the profile picture. So it's very small, it's even smaller. So if you essentially have something like this, it's not really visible. And you can see here with the Ayman, with his example, it's much better because you can see his face. The same happens on your stories as well. Like, for example, if you watch someone's story, they're gonna see that profile picture. So besides your name, your username, they're gonna see profile picture. So that just makes them want to actually, click on your profile more, go to your profile. So it should be high quality. You can also pick, the colorful version as well. People recognize it. People will remember your profile picture much faster. The next thing we have is the highlights, right? So the highlights are very important. Instagram at some point changed a little bit the way that the highlights look, but then they came back to this original old version, and the highlights are helping you convert your potential lead into the client much better. So what I mean by that is that when you have your highlights, you should not have more than like 5 to 6 highlights. 4 to 6 is the ideal number, because when people go to your Instagram for the first time, they're gonna most likely see only first 3 to 4 to 5 highlights, and the rest they need to scroll like this. So of course not many people are gonna do this and see your last highlight. That means in the first 4 to 6 you should have the main information. So you can have, for example, you can see in my cases here, I have feedback, I have Fiverr IPO, I have results, I have sales, then I have featured, and then my events. So these are the other things are a bit less important because they're like travels, things like that. But these ones are the most important. First of all, if you are offering any type of service, people want to hear feedback, reviews, testimonials. This should be there in the first place. Also, I always suggest all of my clients to have a highlight which includes my story. You can say my story or our story if you have a business as well, because this is also very important. Most people will actually want to click on the my story highlight to see how you got started, and you can record like a series of few videos and just explain about the whole journey, your journey, and that's going to be very, very powerful. And that person who will be watching that highlight will most likely go and follow you after that. So this is also very important to remember. Also, you can use the custom covers, or you can create like a custom covers like this. You can create them in Canva, very simple, just to stay within the branding, and that's going to be very, very powerful as well. The next thing we have the visuals, right? So this is also very, very important, because you need to understand that Instagram essentially it's like your website, right? So when people come to your Instagram, as I was saying before, right now it makes it as your portfolio, it's your website, it's your like a business card, right? So you want to remember that aesthetically it should be good, it should be pleasing, and the better it is, the more high chances you're going to convert it to the follower, right? So when people scroll, they'll be like, wow, this is actually looks great. So you have multiple chances. You have the first chance is that if your profile looks professional, looks good, you have high chances to convert your visitor to follower. If you share a valuable content on your Instagram, such as your stories, your posts, your reels, you also have another chance to convert your visitor to the follower. So it's very important to understand this part. So you want to use high quality images, high quality videos, and also prioritize authentic images. What I mean by authentic is, rather than using something like a photo stock, something generic, you actually use pictures from your from actual things. For example, let's say I have on my Instagram a few examples here. You can see like when I was hosting a conference, mini conference, an event. You can see my pictures from the actual event, from the actual location, people. So this is very important. And also, let's say the other ones, I was also documenting my journey, like my I had a series of podcasts, work in progress. You can see here again, this is a very works extremely well because it's a real authentic images. So this is something that you should consider having on your Instagram profile. Avoid placing logos in every visual. It doesn't look good. I understand that you guys want to be protective for your content, but on Instagram, if you place logos everywhere on every single picture, it's not going to be very authentic for the platform itself. It's also Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, said multiple times, try to avoid using the watermarks, the logos on your reels, because it's just not going to be pushed as well in the algorithm as much. You want to keep it clean, you want to keep it clear. Of course, there's always risks that someone can use your content, right? And but that's, again, Instagram is, I believe, doing a better job like that. You can report for content that they're impersonating, they're using your content. But again, just for that purpose of not getting a decrease in reach, try to avoid using that. Graphic posts should take up to about 30% of your content. So you can also have some graphics, like some graphic content as well, but not as much, because you still want to keep it more authentic. Real video content is very important. And the last thing is avoid adding text to every visual, right? So you should not really overload your image with a lot of text, because anyways, people are not going to read the text a lot. They're going to spend a few seconds. So you can capture them with either having like a reel where you talk, where you show yourself, you have some hook, you have some interesting storyline. The second option, you have the picture where you actually show like the behind the scenes processes. You show how things are done behind the scenes and how actually, like let's say something is happening, and that's what will also attract. Now you have also a little bit of a tip as well, marketing funnel. This is very important to remember. So you can research your competitors in your niche, in your price segment, and also you can just kind of like fill in the table here and write down, let's say, a few competitors. You can pick 3 to 5 competitors and really write down like what makes us better, how can we show this in the content, right? So this is also very important, because you don't want to like analyze large companies as it's not their goal to grow on social media, but you want to find the smaller ones who are actually doing something creative, and then you can understand what performs better on their account and also what kind of ads they're running. So this is also good for you to understand, to have it in your mind. The next thing we have is the funnel. So the funnel is also something that is very important to understand, because the marketing funnel, as we know, it's always you have that the triangle shape, and the top of the funnel, of course, this is what essentially makes the cold audience become more like a warmer audience. But essentially in the top of the funnel, we always have these, people who have never seen you before. They end up on your content, on your account. They end up, searching for you, or for not searching really, but like, kind of like listening to you, giving their valuable time to you, and then you want to convert them. So you want to create something that relates to, your services, your things, but you want to educate. You want to really kind of like show what can be valuable for these type of people, because they will not buy from you, but they will be happy to listen more. The next one, I will have the middle of the funnel. So the middle of the funnel is really building the trust, right? Because you already have the attention and you want to build the trust. They want to build the trust. Maybe you can showcase some kind of results, your case studies, right? So this is just kind of like giving them more. So then when they end up at the bottom of the funnel, then that's where you can be like very clear on your offers, call to action, say that you can work with me. Here is a free 15-minute call you can schedule. Here is my service, you can buy from me. So this is also very important to understand. So let's talk about the content strategy, and let's talk about for the service-based businesses, right? So first one we have is the promotion, right? So we can show what actually we can show on the Instagram account. It can be results, it can be transformation, before and after, expert knowledge, client experience, question and answers, right? So this is something that we can do as a promotion, right? So we can, you know, depending on your service, but this is some of the things that will be very good match for this sort of category. The next one we have as a website analog. So we have service list, we have main information, we have pricing, we have competitive advantage, process, profile, navigation. So you want to make sure, you want to create like a website look. You know, when you go to the website, you see this information like the services, pricing, and how it's done, how do we get started, you know. So you also have these options to create content around these specific sections as well. And then of course the emotional experience, emotional connection, because most of the sales happens because of the emotional, kind of like people feel excited, they want to get started, they want to start transformation, they want to start this kind of like a journey, so they get excited. That's why you want to make sure when your potential buyer has this emotional kind of like you know, let's say excitement, you want to make sure you convert them. So this goes to like personal posts, behind the scenes, lifestyle elements, how the service improves, daily life, reviews, UGC content. So anything relates to that, you want to create also that emotional connection with your potential buyer so that they will be ready to buy from you as well. For product-based businesses, we have also the same, you know, talking about this format, promotion. We can also you know, showcase sort of different tips, different tutorials, Q&A, something similar. For the website analog, we have, you know, the features, information delivery, quality product, why it's like this, how it was built, you know, things like that, components being used. So this is also something that is very important. And then of course for emotional, brand stories, you can come up with some concepts, creative concept, reviews, client reviews, UGC content, right? And everything that is, you know, aligned with your brand values as well. Now let's talk about the Reels. So right now on Instagram, Reels is great because the whole algorithm for growing on Instagram, it's still around Reels. Reels will give you a lot of growth, especially right now with like trial Reels. This is another feature that Instagram has. Trial Reels allows you to be featured to people who have never seen your content before, and then if it performs well, you can also share it to your own audience. But it kind of like eliminates that fear of being judged by your audience, by your friends, by your family, you know, everyone in your circle. And this is also a great strategy because you get exposed actually to the cold audience, to the people who have never seen you before, and if that works well, then the content can potentially go viral. So again, you have a really great reach with Reels, very good algorithm for Reels. You also, you know, you can do the challenges that you can come up with this, you know, if you go to the creators Instagram account, they always have this like what is the currently the challenges that you can be part of, viral themes and things like that. And then of course authentic engagement, you know, you can have talking head videos, you like, let's say me sitting down talking to you guys, explaining about these things, and also you can do the same. You can also showcase, for example, I really like this person, hey Tony, yeah, so Matt, he's been doing an incredible job. He also grew so fast, but you can see he's not overthinking, he's just implementing. He's not, doesn't, you know, he just shares, shows the screen, talks about things, you know, and he just, you know, even films directly inside of Instagram. So he's not overthinking too much, but he's just providing honest opinion, thoughts, and this what brought him to over 300 followers. So this is something that I will highly suggest you to also consider looking more into. Of course, the same as I was mentioning before, no watermarks, try to avoid watermarks. Also, Reels should be vertical, even though sometimes you might see the horizontal Reels with like with the black, you see the borders, but still try to post them vertical because it will take the most of the screen, which is very, very important. Keep it under 30 seconds because you can do longer reels, you have this possibility, but still reels are for fast consumption. So essentially, if you have 30-second reels and if you can get someone to watch your reel for 15 seconds, let's say, this is a big indicator for Instagram to push the reels more in the algorithm. If you have reels which is like 3 minutes, it will be very hard to have someone watch it for a minute and a half. And if someone watches it less than 50%, it's just not going to be pushed in the algorithm as much. Again, start with a hook. This is also very, has been spoken a lot, but you should give you should make them excited, right? You should give some sort of the promise at the beginning, and then you should fulfill this promise. For example, I'm going to show you how you can grow your Instagram in 2026, what strategies are working, what strategies are not working these days, and you talk about this, right? So you need to give them some excitement, because when they watch your reel for the first 3 seconds, they need to hear like, okay, what he or she is promising me, what I'm going to be learning in this video, right? For example, most of the things you will hear, if you stay until the end, I'm going to give you this secret tool, to use. So, and of course, consistency. You have to be very consistent, right? So 10 reels at least per month, it's like absolute minimum, right? But if you can post more, it's better, because you need to understand that it's not, let's say, exactly like a lottery, but the more you post, the more chances you have to win the lottery, more chances to have. It's the same kind of similar concept in the lottery, maybe not exactly, but still you have more chances to succeed with one of your videos. If you only post, let's say 3 reels per month, you only have 3 chances in the whole month. If you post 10 reels, you have 10 chances. If you post 50, then you have 50 chances. Of course, out of these 50 chances, maybe 1 or 2 reels will go viral, right? So you want to really try to not spend too much time on editing, and just go and implementing and sharing these reels, sharing the information, documenting your journey as consistent as possible. Now, the next thing, we have stories. So stories, Instagram stories is very, I would say, underestimated, because most people don't use stories enough. Instagram stories is, people who watch your Instagram stories, they are already your warm audience, not cold, your warm audience. So to these people, you can sell them something. I have, for example, a coaching program I was selling in September, and I sold it to 5 people just because of Instagram stories. So it was like more than $5,000 made just from my Instagram story, because people who are watching my Instagram stories are more warm audience. They're ready to buy. So you want to be real, you want to be authentic, you want to be consistent as well, but you have to be strategic as well. So for example, if you don't post anything in 24 hours and you don't have an active story, and then you post a story, you will usually get the most amount of views. And then of course, if you keep posting stories like every day, consistently all the time, sometimes you will see that there is a decline in the views. You can take a break for 24 hours and then post the next story, the most important one, the most important story, and you're gonna get the highest views as well. You want to also encourage people to engage in your stories. So what I mean by that, for example, you can include like Q&A stickers, question answer stickers, you can include quizzes, polls, because the more people are interacting your stories, like they're liking story, they're replying to story, they're participating in the quizzes and the polls, the more indicators, positive indicators it gives to Instagram that this story should be pushed to most of your followers. So this is something that you guys should be remembering. And also, as I mentioned before, you have the key strategies, like you can do tips, tutorials, ask questions, create polls, reshare their stories. When someone tags you, you can reshare it, like it goes as well. Both kind of creates a good connection between that person who tagged you, and also of course behind the scenes you can use the link stickers. This is very important. If you want to bring people to your YouTube channel, YouTube video, your website, your other things, you should use a link sticker. Link sticker is great. You can also use automation, like a mini chat automation. They can DM you the word, and then but I still feel that you guys should use the Instagram native features, which is a link option to use the link, and that's going to be also much more powerful. Now let's talk about the carousel posts. So carousel posts are You've seen them, of course. You can even do them in using your notes, right? You can see, like, for example, Matt, he's just, using it as simple as possible. Doesn't need to be overcomplicated, right? You can just even use your notes to write those carousel posts. Like, that's how you can be just simplified. But these carousel posts, they're good because, first of all, when you share a carousel post, your audience will see it most likely twice. They will see the first slide, they will see the second slide. So this gives you more chances to be featured in twice in the feed of your audience. And also, like Instagram gives you the second chance. Also, if you add a music as well right now on your carousel, it gives like more feature. It will be featured in the Reels as well tab. So essentially they're pushing the carousel post into the Reels tab as well when you have the music. TikTok is also doing something similar, but this is also a great opportunity. So if you are feeling not comfortable with the Reels, you can just create a carousel posts, you can add the music there, and they will be featured as Reels in the Reels tab, so you can get great interactions and engagement. And of course, people, the longer they stay in the content, the more they're swiping, the more they're checking posts, going back and forth. All of those small signals for Instagram to know that this content is valuable. They might be saving it, they might be resharing it as well. For example, for the carousel post, if you share something educational, something valuable, there are a lot of higher chances for people to save it, to reshare it as well with their friends. And guys, remember that also Adam Mosseri said that the most of the time people are actually sharing their content in the DMs, right? So someone can maybe find something useful and share it with their friend in the DM on Instagram. So this is also something that you should remember. Now, the next thing, let's talk about the hashtags. So the hashtags, right now they are not as working as they were working before. Right now you can use maximum 3 to 5 hashtags. Recently Instagram started to put this limit. You can just use 3 hashtags because on most platforms like TikTok, YouTube, you cannot use as many hashtags, right? So I wouldn't go too crazy about the hashtags. I will just use the hashtags that are very, very relevant to your business, to your location as well, and just use like 3 hashtags, and just making sure this is, for example, for me, if I talk about Fiverr, I can use Fiverr hashtag. If I talk about Instagram growth, I can put Instagram tips, for example. So, but I wouldn't go too crazy about the hashtags, just, keep it minimum. If you don't use it at all, it's going to be totally fine as well. So it's not like it was before. Now, let's talk about the whole Instagram algorithm, how you can potentially go viral. And you can also spend some time reading this information, checking this information. But, essentially, I will break it down for you as well here. So the first thing, when you share something on Instagram, let's say not considering the trial reels, just sharing to your regular feed, right? So Instagram usually, so you have those most active times, right? So when you share something there, Instagram first, let's say shows it to 100 people, let's say your most active 100 people who always see your content. And you have to remember this as well. When you DM someone, when you talk with someone in DMs, this will be considered as someone, like this person will see your content first. If you have an interaction with that person in the DM in the last week, 2 weeks, so they will see your content first. So when they see this content first, they will essentially, let's say if they start commenting, they're starting to then the algorithm is going to analyze it, and then it's going to start pushing this content to a larger audience. So essentially it's doing it in stages. And then if this, for example, the first stage, the initial test didn't go well, for example, your most active followers, loyal followers didn't interact it or showed less interaction than usual, it will be not pushed more, right? It will be pushed a little bit because Instagram is also careful. They don't want to push content which is not liked by your loyal followers, your audience. So, and then essentially if it performs well, if things are going, it starts to show to the new audience, to the larger percentage of your followers. If they continue to see this positive pattern, then you will be pushed in the explore as well, the suggestions, users feeds, and then essentially you have high chances to go viral, right? So it can happen not in the first week, it can happen after 1 month, but essentially you will see this positive trajectory, and that will happen at some point, going viral. The same thing happens most of the time on YouTube as well. On YouTube, because of the long form content, usually it happens even after maybe a few months or after a year. I have some videos that I posted for over 1 year, and they're still giving a lot of views. They're still being pushed in the algorithm. So every platform works different. On Instagram, Reels, they can also be pushed after some time. Not, of course, maybe after 1 year, but they can be pushed after 1 month as well. Now, let's talk about the growth strategies, how we can actually grow the Instagram account. The first thing, we have all this first option, organic interaction. This is something that we do for our clients, because clients just don't have time to interact, like content, follow people. So this is something that if you have time, you can do it yourself. You can pick, for example, your competitors, let's say reference accounts that you like their audience, you feel their audience is a good match, and you can start interacting with them. You can start following them, you can start liking their content, you can start maybe sending them even direct message, just like connecting with them. And then you will see that those people, some of them will start to following you back, and it builds the connection. So you can do it yourself. We do it for clients. We work 6 hours on each client on a daily basis. So we spend a lot of time interacting with people to stay, of course, safe with the limits, but we do this for clients, and in result, clients get more people to their Instagram, more active people, and their job is to continue post content. They can send messages as well to those new people. They can convert them to loyal followers. They can essentially do how they usually do. The next one, we have paid advertising. We can run ads. Ads are also very powerful if you know your target market, if you know if you already have some validation on your market, on your audience. This is a great way to scale things. So I would not recommend ads for someone who are just starting out, or someone who doesn't have, let's say, at least $1,000 or more ad budget per month. So if you don't have $1,000 per month budget, I will not go into ads, because essentially you might not be getting results, and it's much better to spend, for example, to someone let's say our service for growth service starts from 120. I can show you guys here. So it starts from 120, goes to 190, right? So it's much better to spend this on the actual growth service rather than spending on ads, because on ads you're not going to get really good results. It takes some time and also some budget to analyze your audience, to essentially do this A/B testing as well. So it's better to just use organic growth, and we can start to interact with your reference account audience, your competitor audience, and this is going to be much better. Cross promotion strategy. So you can also collaborate, brands, businesses, share similar audience. You can do a collaboration post as well, and you will be essentially exposed to their audience. They will be exposed to your audience. It's also a great way. And also influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is also very big. I would say influencer marketing is driven more to conversions rather than building your audience. So if you have validation with paid ads, if you have already some results, then you can go into the influencer marketing. You can build your ambassador program as well, and you can give your ambassadors some let's say discounts, something valuable, so they can be happy, and also they can share on social media about your product, your service. So, but this is also a strategy that exists. Now let's talk about the inbound community management, right? So community management is very important, because what happens on Instagram is that when you do something more personalized, you mention the name, you send them a message, you send them the voice message, it will automatically have higher chances to convert this follower into the loyal follower. Loyal follower will be ready to buy something from you. The follower might just be kind of looking at you and seeing at some point, maybe they will buy or maybe not. So you can do something that you must do, right? Respond to comments, always respond with comments, always, thank for the support, because, not everyone leaves the comments. And if they leave the comment, that most likely means that this is something that you posted is really good, or they want to support you. So this is a good indicators. And also the other thing, you want to also repost content. When someone tags you, when someone mentions you, you want to reshare it, and that just gives a good sign, because when someone sees that you're doing that, if you're a business, then there is more motivation for people to continue tagging you, continue mentioning you. And of course, the most important thing is engaging in the DMs. When you send someone a direct message and that person responds back, when you share something on picture, carousel, reel, that person most likely gonna see that the content that you share. That's how Instagram algorithm works, and it's very important to engage with people in the DMs. The next thing, the outbound that you can do. So you can do engaging with other accounts, right? So you can like their posts, as I was saying, one of the growth strategies, organic growth strategies. You can interact with people yourself. So you can do like, as you will do, for example, cold email. Here you can do the same. You can, if you know your potential audience, you can go to them. You can, maybe if they post some story, you can go to the story, you can like the story, you can reply something. You want to create these authentic connections, authentic conversations as well with your potential audience. And essentially they will follow you back, they will be maybe responding to you again. But once again, we are doing this for clients, and this is for sure one of the best strategies to grow on Instagram 2025, 2026, and going forward as well. Let's talk about the things that you should absolutely avoid doing. So I will highly suggest you to not use any fake likes, fake followers, anything relates to that, anything relates to like increasing your views, artificially, not authentically, buying those accounts. Even though right now this industry kind of became better because they create better looking profiles, at the end of the day, these are fake accounts. These accounts are not run by real people. So when you post something, that account will not able to like, comment, or see your profile. And if you have a lot of those accounts, that Instagram kind of understands that, and it will be like, okay, they're not interacting with this post, so this post will not be pushed. So remember when we talked about how the content works, they show it to the most loyal, and then that, and if you have a lot of fake followers, you don't really have the loyal, so they will need to show to those 100 fake followers, and obviously they will not be engaging, so it will not be pushed even to the next stage. So absolutely try to avoid anything relates to the fake followers, fake likes, fake views, anything that. You also want to, keep your brand image identity being, authentic, because when someone goes and sees that there is like some disbalance between the followers, the likes, it creates some confusion, right? So it's also something that you want to avoid, because they might be like, oh, this person or this business is using fake followers, and that's not going to be good, right? So they will not buy from you. Maybe they will even mention you and say that they are using some fake accounts, things like that. So this is something that you should absolutely avoid doing, and stay as real as possible. Yes, it's very painful at the beginning because you have to grow, but you should absolutely avoid doing any of that. And of course, all of these risks comes down to suspension, restriction. You can also get that if you're using that. So this is something that is very important to remember as well. Let's talk about the analytics tools, right? So what do we have, just starting from Instagram itself. So we have Instagram Insights. You guys know this, so you can track your followers, you can see where they are, you can, kind of like analyze all this information. You can track the DMs, comments as well. You have, for example, ManyChat, right? So you guys heard about that. It's a platform for automating the direct messages as well, the comments as well. You have the Meta Business Suite, they have their features. I actually like their DM as well, manager, like you can manage your DMs with the Meta Business Suite. Of course, some things are not ideal, there never are, but I would say I'm more fan of using something native from Meta rather than using a third party, because it's always harder to integrate third party with, make sure that it's a an official integration. Google Analytics as well, adding this to your website, you can just track the traffic that is coming from Instagram. This is also a great way. And of course, scheduling platforms, Buffer, Hootsuite, Later, Sprout Social. You also have analytics there. We are using, for example, for clients that we manage, we're using a platform called Sendable. There is also another platform called Carousel. It's also great for agencies, for marketers. If you guys trying to use it as well, this is also a great solution. Sendable, it's maybe a little bit pricey, but we actually are happy with the way it works. Rela is also a great platform as well. It has a lot of great features. So, but again, I think if you are using just for yourself, let's say for your personal, Later is also a very, very good platform to use. So, you always want to make sure when you're doing something, you can also make some sort of adjustments or kind of like analyze your performance. And, with every sort of, you want to give yourself for example, 1 month, 3 months, and analyze your goals, analyze your essentially what is working, what is not working, which content works. It's very important to look at also statistics, like how long people are watching your content for, when do they stop watching, when do they scroll away, how much, the percentage that they are staying and watching, So these are very important factors, because you will understand better, you will work better on your hook, you will work better on making sure that people are actually staying and watching until the end. So this is something that is extremely important to remember, because otherwise you will not understand what is working, what is not working. So you want to look at the highest performing reels. You can actually do that right now. If you go to the reels, you can see most viewed, and you can understand as well what is actually working. You can go the same way to your competitors, and you can just see most viewed reels, and you will understand exactly what is working for them, how they're getting results. So for example, I can go here and just show you as well what I mean by that. So let's say we can go to Jamie, let's say, and we can go to his reels, right? And then we can go to the most viewed, right? So now I can see his most viewed reels, and if I look at them, I will understand why they're viewed, because of the good hook, because of the good promise. So this is something that you can do and analyze your competition much better, and essentially you will reach great results. So if you guys want to for me to work on your Instagram to help you with your growth, with making sure that you are growing, you're connecting with people, you can of course send me a DM, a direct message on Instagram, and I'll be happy to discuss this. I'll be happy to work with you. So you can just send me a direct message. I'll leave a link in the description. You can try out my growth service as well. I will leave this link in the description as well. You can see how it works for you. Again, you can always reach out to me on Instagram to discuss. Also, we do create content for businesses, static posts as well. If you're interested and you need to have some good posts as well, this is something that we also do for businesses. For if you have service-based business, if you have a product as well, we can create you a nice aesthetic content that you can use as well for ads, and essentially it's going to be working extremely well, just representing your actual business. And if you have any questions or anything, you can always leave in the comments or send me a message on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and let's push it in the 2026, more growth on Instagram, more results, more sales, and as well more happy clients as well. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.